A young woman came to me some time ago, and this is a woman that I loved so much, and I treasured the kind of union she has built with her husband. And she came and told me the kind of things that had been going on in their marriage, and I felt so pained. Not that I have not had such stories before, but these are couples that you never even thought that something like that could be happening to. And I felt obliged that today I will dwell on a particular topic: how to save your marriage. How to save your marriage. It is a big topic indeed, and we decided somehow I'm going to divide it into three segments or three parts. So the first part is coming today. If you can keep faith with us on this channel, you will witness the next part next week, and of course the third part the following week. So I want you to please keep faith with us. How to save your marriage. Once again, my name is Felix Okeke. I am your marriage counselor and coach, and this is Marriage Without Tears channel. If you are yet to subscribe to this channel, please do so immediately. There's a red button by my side. Click on it and get subscribed. How to save your marriage. Have your marriage deteriorated to the level whereby your spouse is already contemplating a divorce or even a separation? Has it come to the level where all the emotional and physical and spiritual investments you have made over the years seems to be amounting to nothing? Has it come to a level whereby you are no longer on speaking terms with your spouse? And this is a man or a woman whom you felt, somehow you will live, till death do you part. But somehow you are now looking at one another like enemies. Has it come to that? Has it come to a level whereby your spouse is beginning to look on the outside of their marriage for a substitute? Has it come to that level? Are you witnessing a total deterioration of the values, the ethos, and all manner of values and principles you held so sacrosanct, and somehow is already being thrown to the dustbin as a result of this marriage? Now, as we discuss this topic, I want you to pay ultimate attention, because you are going to pick some valued points, some solutions, because we are solution minded, we are proactive in this very particular channel. You're going to pick some certain things that if you put into your marriage, that marriage will be saved to the glory of God. The very first thing you need to do right now as I'm speaking, get a pen and paper and begin to write down the differences between you and your spouse. What are the areas of differences? That challenge, that conflict, what are they? Please be specific about it. Write it from number 1 to number 10 or even more. Write the exact differences. Don't just say, oh, I discovered that we're not compatible. No. You might not be compatible, but certain things made it so. Why are you no longer compatible? Don't just say, oh, I discovered that we are no longer flowing together. Why are you no longer flowing together? There are specific things which you must note down on that book beside you. Pick a pen and paper and begin to write down specific things. Oh, my husband has a very poor sex appetite. Oh, my wife does not cook well, and because of that, I hate her meals. Oh, my husband prefers other companies. He keeps bad friends outside, and he does not listen to my advice. Oh, my wife never comes back from wherever she goes until late in the night. Oh, my husband does not know how to take care of the family. Be specific about it. Oh, my wife is suffering from low self-esteem. Anytime she sees me in the company of another female, she gets upset. There are things, you write them out. Be specific about it, because if you don't know where the roof started leaking, you will never find solution to your problem. So I want you to be specific about it as right now. So that is the very first thing you need to do. If you do that, you have solved almost 50% of your problems. Be very specific about it, even as we go to the second thing which you must do. The second thing which you must do, begin from right now to look at the real problem. What are the issues behind the problem you are facing? What are the issues? What gave rise to them? Oh, it is not enough to say, oh, I found my husband in the arms of another woman. Of course, your husband could be, he could be remorseful. He may even come begging. He may do all manner of things trying to plead, because there's a betrayal of trust involved already. But something gave rise to it. Begin to think in terms of what actually gave rise to it. Is it because I am denying my husband of sexual pleasures? Is it because I no longer give time to him? Is it because the way I speak to him, I don't speak with respect, I don't speak with honor? Is it because I'm becoming lesser and lesser the companion he desired? What actually is the problem? What actually gave rise to what he did? You begin to look at that. A woman can say, oh, I discovered that my husband no longer eat my meals. He goes outside and he eats, and when he comes back, if I serve him, no matter the time I serve him, no matter what I serve him, he doesn't like to eat it. And when he decides to take it, he doesn't even, he doesn't take it sometimes. It doesn't delight him. My meals don't delight him. Now, that is a situation of its own. But have you gone to think and say, am I actually a good cook? Am I a good chef? Do I cook well? Because there are so many women out there, you give them thousands of dollars or thousands of naira, they can't put a good meal on the table. There are so many women out there. So do I actually know how to cook the kind of meals that my family can enjoy? Or is my family simply enduring my meal, tolerating my meal, instead of enjoying it? These are questions you need to ask yourself from time to time. You need to ask that until you learn how to look at the situation that gave rise to the problem. You may be beating about the bush, and it is very, very important that you do that. Please, if you are yet to subscribe to this channel, do so immediately. There's a red button by my side. Click on it and get subscribed as we go to the third one. What is actually the third one? The third one is that from now henceforth, I want you as a couple, as a married man, as a married woman, to begin to think in terms of solutions. Drop the blame game. Begin to think in terms of solution. Be solution-minded. What are the situations you are facing in your home? What has given rise to that? Then how do I, as an individual, as a man in marriage, how do I solve it? What do I need to do to bring a solution to the issue at stake? Not what my wife will do, not what my husband will do. No, it's not what my partner should do. No, but what I can do to bring a solution to the issue at stake. As a man, my wife she's very, very dormant in bed. She's lying there like a log of wood while I do all the sexual functions. Now, why don't you think in terms of, instead of challenging your wife to be more athletic, to be more energetic in bed, why don't you think in terms of how to satisfy her and bring out the best in her? That is the solution mindset. Oh, my husband does not like my meals. Like I said, he doesn't like my meals. Anytime I put the meal on the table, he only eats just 1/4 of it and he walks away. It doesn't delight him. Instead of being very, very negative about your husband, why don't you think in terms of learning cooking skills? Learning some of these skills. Call a sister that knows how to cook very well. Find any of the eateries around town. Register with them. They will teach you some skills. They will teach you some skills, 1 or 2 hours or 3 hours on a weekend. You come back, you put it in practice, and you discover that over a period of time, you become a specialist. You begin to prepare the kind of meals that your husband and the entire family will enjoy. You can do that. If you can only become solution-minded, all the things that you're facing in marriage will just die a natural death. But what we discover is that couples, when faced with such problems, they become negative. And it's like a negative rain. When it begins to fall in your relationship, before you realize what is happening, a whole lot of damage has been done. But I pray that from now henceforth, you become more positive-minded. You begin to ask yourself as an individual, what do I contribute to make this man or to make this woman become better? Oh, she doesn't dress well. Oh, wonderful. She doesn't dress well. You can add value to her by being with her and selecting some of her dresses, making some of the choices, admiring her dress. And then sometimes when she put a hat that does not fit well, you remove it and get a hat that fits well. So that when you are marching out of the home, you will feel delighted that she's with you. Instead of castigating her, that's why you are in that relationship. That's why you are in that relationship. It's not a spiritual person. Oh, that is your harvest field. That's your harvest field. Why don't you make your spouse your harvest field? Begin to minister to her. Begin to teach her. Begin to work on her. Over a period of time, you discover that person that seems to be docile when matters of the spirit are discussed has become a spiritual champion. I know very early years in my marriage, my wife don't used to pray so much. But over a period of time, now that woman can stand in pulpits in everywhere and minister eloquently. Because someone like me had the patience and the confidence and the faith in her. and we worked together. And before you know it, she became what I actually desired her to be. You can do that even in your own relationship. Only if you can become positive and solution-minded. Don't take away all these negativities. Begin to look in terms of how to add value to your spouse. Oh, you may even say, oh, my husband is too serious. Too serious. He's not humorous. He's just giving to jokes. No matter what you do in the house, you can never see him smile. If you're such a woman, you can think in terms of what you can do to make him smile. Begin to be the one that will provide the comic relief in the marriage. Be the comedian in the home. I think the only person who smiles without any outside input is a mad person. So if you can provide avenue that will make him happy, that will cheer him up, he will smile. You never can tell. It could be because of the pressure of his work. It can be because of one thing or the other he encountered outside there. But if you bring humor into it as a person, you may remove that pressure. You may relieve him of that pressure. And you see him smile. There are so many things we complain about. But if we are solution-minded, we can always get it well. We can always be better. Our relationship will grow to the glory of God. If you're yet to subscribe, please do so immediately. Click on that red button and get subscribed. The fourth thing I want you to do, really, is to focus on your own shortcomings in the relationship. I'm not talking about your partner, because many times what we normally do is once we have a challenge in a marriage, we begin to look at what the other person didn't do well. We begin to look at what our partners didn't do well, what he said, what he didn't say, what he did or what she didn't do. We begin to look in terms of that, instead of checking ourselves and looking and checking our own inputs, what we did wrong. Okay, supposing for the sake of argument, your husband was found in the arms of another man. Like I said earlier, it is a very demeaning thing because it's a betrayal of trust. Amen. This is a husband you have invested so much. You trusted him. You lived by him. You loved him, and somehow you discover that he was found in an extramarital affair. And he's sorrowful about it. He's even begging for forgiveness. Now that you have forgiven him, instead of always counting on his woes, on his shortcomings, why don't you retrace a step and begin to look at your own shortcomings? What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Did I neglect him over a period of time? Did I actually begin to pursue other things to the detriment of my marriage? Did I find myself, having other companies, having other friends to the detriment of my marriage? Did I take my eyes off my husband? Had I been satisfying him in bed? Have I been a good companion unto him? What are my own shortcomings in this relationship? You begin to think in terms of that. And if you can realize yourself, if you can understand your own shortcomings and begin to improve on that, your marriage will improve. For instance, a man who says, oh, my wife is not good in bed, he's docile, he does this and that. If you are a teacher, if you're a good teacher, you'll be able to teach her how not to be docile in bed. So if she's docile in bed, it means that you also failed in your duty to coach her to become exciting in bed. So these are things. You begin to look at your own shortcomings, not the shortcomings of your spouse. If you can do that, your marriage will grow. If you can do that and begin to work on that, I tell you something, your marriage will stand the test of time. The final thing I want you to do right now is to get a counselor. Get a qualified marriage counselor. I have seen so many people say, oh, don't share your marital problems and challenges with a third party. My question had always been, what kind of third party? Of course, don't share it with a third party that cannot give you the kind of solutions that will make your marriage better. But a marriage counselor is someone who has the training, the experience, the knowledge, the understanding of the dynamics that are at play in the marriage environment, who can give you the kind of solutions that will relieve the pressure in your marriage. So you need to share it with him or her. Very, very important indeed. If you can identify a qualified marriage counselor in your area, please don't fail to share that problem with him or her. And if you can't, I will also provide my contact details at the bottom of this very particular edition so that you can reach out to me. The world is a global place. Whether you're in US or Canada or anywhere in Europe or in Africa, you can always reach me. We can, talk by WhatsApp, by email, by all manner of medium. I just want us to know that a marriage counselor can make all the difference. Very, very important indeed. Please, before you check out, I want you to know that this edition, How to Save Your Marriage, continues next week. And please look forward to it. Next week, we go into another area of how to save your marriage. That marriage needs to be saved to the glory of God. And if you are yet to subscribe, please do so immediately. Click on this red button right here. Subscribe, and let's look forward to next week. May God bless you.